Hi, my name is Christina and I am your librarian here at Christina's Bookshelf. And today I am bringing you the second book in the Ink Chaser series, which is Wicked Triplicity. I think I said that right. Wicked Triplicity by Tanya Sands. If you haven't read this series yet, here's how this works. We have Wicked Ink, which is book number 1, and it correlates with book number 1 of the Iron Fist series, which is Iron Intricacies. And it doesn't matter which one of those books you read first, because you're gonna get a little bit of each in the stories. Wicked Ink is by Tanya Sands. Iron Intricacies is by Zana King. And so it's kind of interesting how they correlate and work together. We're gonna see the same characters, you're gonna hear kind of the same stories here and there, but we get different sets of characters. Wicked Triplicity, if I'm saying this word correctly, goes along with book number 2 in the Iron Fist series, which is Iron Paradox. And I will probably explain all of this again when I do the Iron Paradox review, which will be very quickly behind this one. And I thought about correlating and doing them both at the same time, but I didn't want to. So this is what we're getting. I'm going to focus this review on Wicked Triplicity. This is what I thought was a MFM story. We met these characters in the first book and we saw this coming along. And so we knew who was going to be in this story, and I kind of thought I knew like how the story was going to go. And here are our main characters before I continue on babbling. We have Xandra, Cooper, and Reed. Xandra and Cooper have known each other since they were children. And they grew up together on the same street. They weren't like best friends, but they knew each other. Reed didn't come into the picture until they got older, when him and his dad moved into town. He has kind of a little bit of a shady past that nobody knows about, that he refuses to speak of. Reed and Cooper have always had a crush on Xandra. She has always had a crush on them both. Now all three of them work at this tattoo parlor in San Diego, and they're best friends. They hang out. They might have had sex a few times, friends with benefits, especially when they go and they hang out with the Iron Fist crew. This is something that you need to know when you come into this book. There are orgies. There are mega hot parties that happen when the Iron Fist crew and the Wicked crew get together. So if you are all about MF, just the straight please, nothing else, these books are not for you. If you don't mind a little bit of the queer, welcome aboard. I'm going to say this, I'm going to be extremely honest. I was about halfway through this thinking that it was going to be a solid 4-star read. Like, it was MFM, it was well written, it was a story, but it was predictable. You could see where the fault lines were going to be, where the things were kind of going to fissure, where the issue was going to happen, especially with Reed's past, how we were going to deal with this. But then Tanya kind of brought something up that I was not expecting at all. She has a few MFM books out there that I love and adore, but this is not in them at all. This is not something that is touched at all. And so when this situation arises, I was like, oh, well, yes, bring it to mama. Bring it to mama. So let's just say, if you're going into this thinking that it's going to be straight MFM, no. But a big issue is, after we get through this, is Reed's past. And it's horrific. Trigger child abuse. I'm not going to say any more, but if you have a huge issue with that, it's not like it's on every page and you can skip past it and just know that it's there. But this is something that he decides that if he's going to be in a committed relationship with anybody, it needs to be told. And if one person's going to pull skeletons out of their closet, then we all kind of need to pull skeletons out of our closet and share. And this is when the scrumptious little dessert gets added on to the table. And I was like, thank you. Xandra, Cooper, and Reed are not your typical, your normal MFM story, because it's not MFM. The emotions run so deep. The feelings, the friendship, the love, everything with it. When a Reed is just hurting, they all hurt, but they gather around for their friend, their boyfriend, their lover. And it was humbling to watch. So I am giving Wicked Triplicity, if I am saying this word correctly, 5 stars. I loved it. The change of course that I wasn't expecting, the fact that you had me thinking that this was going to be your typical, stereotypical, I guess, MFM, this is where we were going with it, this is how it was going to turn out, and then just bam, right in my lap, something new, how we were going to handle it. Whew. Loved it. So what I am going to do for you is I am going to leave the Amazon link down below so you can click it and be on your way to reading. Like I said, this is book number 2 in the Inked series by Tanya Sands. I would suggest you read book number 1 first. Book number 1 is tied to book number 1 in the Iron Fist series by Zana King, which is Iron Intricacies. So with this being book number 2 in the Inked series, it is also connected to book number 2, which is Iron Paradox in the Iron Fist series. You're going to see characters and hear stories that are developing within the Iron Fist world as well. And when you read Iron Paradox, you're going to hear a little bit of what's coming up with these 3 characters as well. So it doesn't matter which one you read first, but I would suggest that you read book 1 of either one first. So read those 2 first, and then move on up and read either one of these 2 first. If you like me and think that this chick is pretty awesome, down below I'm going to leave stalker links aplenty, so go click, investigate, and enjoy. If you have a book or an arc you'd like me to read, or some light editing proofreading you would like done, you may request via website. I'm going to forewarn you now that I am extremely behind, so if you have a date that's like coming up that you would like a book done ASAP, the answer is no. I cannot do anything by a certain due date unless that due date is like June. FYI. Wicked Triplicity by Tanya Sands. This is the Inked series book number 2. 5 stars. Bye. Hi, my name is Christina. I am your librarian here at Christina's Bookshelf, and today I am bringing you a Wicked Education. This is book number 1 in the Wicked Ink series by Tanya Sands. This is MF. This is the series that I was talking about where you have one book by Tanya Sands and the other book by Zana King. And they're separate series, but the characters intermingle with each other. So I thought that was very interesting, and I was kind of excited to see where we went. And this